Hello, welcome to the Villa View. It's time for the pod in association with Luke Roper. A special show today as Villa have signed Philippe Coutinho on a 6-month loan from Barcelona with the option to purchase him fully in the summer. I'm your host, Dan Bardell, joined by Chris Dolan and Omar. Lads, feels like a big statement, doesn't it, Dolan? I mean,
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah,
he's not had the best of times. If he had been having the best of times, simply he wouldn't be coming to Aston Villa now. But if we can get a tune out of him, which I think we might do under Steven Gerrard, this is a sensational signing. And I've seen a lot of people say could be the biggest name that we've ever signed. Would you go along with that?
yeah. I would agree. I would. I mean, we've obviously we've had players that have gone on to become superstars since they've left Villa, but we've never. I can't recall. Maybe I think I said to you a few days ago when the talk started, like Paul Merson kind of rings a bell. You know, that kind of player, that kind of
We signed him for
status.
the
But
championship,
then
didn't we,
you look,
Merson? Or from the league below.
yeah. But then you look at Coutinho and you know, I mean, people said his loan deal didn't work out, but I mean, he still won a couple of the Ligas. He won the Super Cup. He won Copa del Rey. He won the Champions League
Yeah,
at Bayern Munich. He scored at the new camp whenever Munich was it 8-1 or
8-2, I think
eight
it was.
nil whenever they
He scored
absolutely
a couple, I think.
drubbed them. Scored a
Yeah.
couple that night when he was still on. So I mean, and even his stats for Barca. I mean, you know, he's sort of what 17 goals in 76 games. I mean, it's not like he went there and flopped. And I still think, you know, age wise, is he usually the kind of player that we would go for at his age? He's 29. We're obviously looking to buy. You know, our average age is obviously a lot lower. But when a player like Coutinho becomes available, you know, on a loan deal, you know, they're saying Barca are going to, no, we're going to pay 60% of his wages. Omar put some stuff in the WhatsApp group today saying it's probably going to work out a bit cheaper than the Ross Barkley deal. So all in all, it's a no brainer. And yeah, as you said, I can't think of a bigger name. I can't think of a bigger signing in our history that we've made than Coutinho. So pretty incredible. And it's all down to one man. It's all down to Gerrard. Like there's no way he would even have thought about coming to us, and there's no way we would have even tried to pull that move off if it wasn't for Gerrard and his connections. So it isn't what you know, it's who you know, and yeah,
Yeah, I
incredible.
mean, Omar, I'm sorry, I'm thrown off by Neil's comment about Dolan's hair. The trim is getting some love, and rightly so. What a trim Chris Dolan has had in preparation just for the coming on the Villa View and doing the show. Dolan talks there about Gerrard and the pull of Gerrard. I mean, the owners and the club, they've wanted to make a statement
Yeah.
signing for years, I believe, and having Gerrard at the helm and the links that he's got with Coutinho, that's enabled this signing to happen.
Mm.
This is what they've wanted, though. This is, I mean, when you are a rich man and you own a football club, this is the kind of thing you want to see, really, isn't it? You want to see the star names coming in. And with all due respect to Villa, obviously we're all Villa fans. A few years ago, we could have only dreamed of something like this. I mean, someone posted a team sheet from the day that Coutinho went to Barcelona. I think
Mm-hmm.
we got knocked out by Peterborough in the FA Cup with Richie Delat
Mm.
at right back. I can't even remember who else. I think Callum O'Hare played that day, you know. The strides Villa have made to get to this point is really massive when you look back, but also it's something that the owners have wanted to do.
Yeah, definitely. I think it puts our name on the map on a global scale. And you know, Coutinho is you know, you've got people like Trezeguet, Nakamba, who they've obviously got massive followings in Africa, but this is a global scale. This is a massive name. This is obviously the third most expensive signing ever, or something like that.
Yeah, the third most expensive player in the world is now an
Yeah.
Aston Villa player.
It's crazy, yeah. And I think more for me, what's more impressive rather than the big name and the pull of Steven Gerrard is the way that we've done the deal. We've beaten competition. Obviously, numerous of the Premier League clubs have been interested, but also in terms of negotiations as well, the fact that it's 6-month loan deal with an obligation to buy, and the fact that, well, depending on who you believe, whether it's BBC or Guardian, you know, it could be cheaper than a Ross Barkley deal or could be 50-60% of his wages. You know, it's not a no risk signing because obviously there's wages involved, but in terms of signing someone of this caliber, it's the best that we could have done in terms of a negotiation, because if he does well, then we've got the obligation to buy at a pretty reasonable price. If he doesn't do so well, then well, with 6 months, you know, we've paid £5-6 million in wages for someone of his caliber to try and push us higher up the league, and if he doesn't perform, then so be it. But I think we've got the best of both ends of the bargain, really. I think, you know, if he does well, then we've got the option to buy him. Hopefully, Steven Gerrard can convince him to stay, and that's just crazy, really. You talk about what happened a few years ago, but just even looking at previous January transfer windows, I can't remember, from Borja, Baston, and Drinkwater, Samatta, people like that in our first season. Obviously we bought Sanson last season, but obviously nowhere near the same kind of caliber. Robbie Keane was probably our best January transfer signing that I can remember. I can't remember.
Darren Bent, I suppose.
Darren Bent, yeah. Initially, obviously, and then over the longer period of time, probably not so much. But yeah, Hurahan as well. But to sign him in January so early on in the window as well, it's massive, and it shows you the pull of Steven Gerrard. Shows you the negotiation that's been involved, the skill of Perslow probably, and the pull of the owners and the ambition of the owners as well. I think it's great. And I saw a Instagram post today from Gabby saying, who else has Steven Gerrard got up his sleeve, and Steven Gerrard with his little eye emojis hinting at some more signings as well. So hopefully it's not the end of the window for us, but it's a great start, definitely.
Yeah, I'll drop Gabby a message, see what he knows, see if he knows anything.
He's too busy replying to all the fans.
Yeah. Here, Dan, I'm gonna name that team that I've just got it up here that you spoke about the day that he left. So, again, no disrespect to any of these players because I've got a lot of time for a lot of these players, but Jed Steer in goal, Dalat, Bree, Terry, and Taylor. Midfield of Onima, Hurahan, Bjarson, Green. Up top, Keenan Davis and Callum O'Hare. And then fast forward into what we could have. Again, there was, I think, who scored, put up a lineup, a potential starting lineup with everyone fit. You got Martinez, Cash, Collins and Mings, Target, Luis, Coutinho, McGinn, Buendia, Watkins, Bailey. And then you think of the players that we can bring on off the bench. When you like Ings, you got Ramsey, I think, probably, so there's so much quality. And I honestly think now we're 2 or 3 away from being that top 6 side, And Gerrard yesterday spoke in the press conference. He spoke about not only this window but the summer window. I think he knows. I think he knows that we still are 2 or 3 players away from being that top 6 side. And I think Gabby made a good point as well. I know he's not everyone's flavour of the month at the minute, but I think Gabby made a good point on TalkSport saying that Gerrard's not come here to finish 11th and 12th. Aston Villa, he just hasn't, and the owners haven't brought him in on those wages to be finishing, but mid to bottom half. So, if Coutinho can show any kind of form that he showed for Liverpool, and then it could be some seriously exciting football over the next 6 months. And again, I was led to believe that if we do sign him, you're looking around 35 to 40 million euro, which for me in this market is good value if we can keep him fit and he performs at even 60% of those levels.
Yeah, I guess we had a bounce Omar when Steven Gerrard came in, and that got us up the table. Feels like it's stalled a little bit over the last couple of weeks. Obviously, we've lost a couple of games, we've missed a game due to COVID. This signing almost feels like it might give us another one of those mini bounces, raise the levels a little bit, because players want to play with good players. I mean, he doesn't play for us anymore, but Jack Grealish has spoken highly of Coutinho in the past. Players are going to be looking forward to training with him and being around him and having someone like that in their team. So automatically, when you get a player like that in your team, your levels rise.
Massively, yeah. And not only the players that are there now, but also players who are thinking about joining Villa, who are negotiating with maybe at the moment. It's a massive thing. It's a massive statement of intent. It will definitely raise the levels of the players, and I think more importantly for me, I think creativity wise, we haven't really been at the levels that I imagine Steven Gerrard wants us to be over the last. He's obviously come in, he's tried to sort the formation out, sort the discipline out, got us to be a bit more solid, but we've lacked in the final third a little bit, I think. And if Coutinho can even be 60-70% of the player he was at Liverpool, then that's going to make a massive difference to us and give us that ability to bounce back and get those results that we need to continue to push up the table. And I think playing alongside Buendia, Watkins, Ings, etc., with McGinn and Luis behind him is going to be a sight to behold. I still have a hope that we do try and get a defensive midfielder. I still think that's an issue. I think we've started conceding too many easy goals of late when now Nakamba's out the side. So I think that is my only slight concern a little bit. If we can rectify that, then there's no reason why we can't have a really good second half of the season and push up the table. But the players will be buzzing, that how excited if you're a player, a lot of the younger players as well will probably have looked up Coutinho when they were younger, watching Premier League football, watching him play. He might have been a hero for many of these players. He's one of the best players in the Premier League, and 4 or 5 years ago. So I just think it's just crazy. I can't actually quite believe what we've managed to do, and the fact we've got 3 Brazilians if you count Wesley. We've got 2 Argentinians playing in the team. It's not something that you've ever really associated with Villa, having that South American flair, and just amazing. And it puts us on the map, like I said. But also, I think really for some potential players that we might be looking at, then the fact we've got Coutinho is going to be a massive influence as well. And it would be great for people like Dougie Luiz as well, for example. I think, was it Chris? I don't know if it was you that was saying it, or I can't remember who was saying it, that Coutinho came through Vasco da Gama as well, same as Dougie, so same as Coutinho. So I think that's going to have a massive influence. Obviously, they're probably from the similar area, I imagine. So it's great, fantastic, all positive.
Yeah, he's a shy guy as well, Coutinho. I think that's one of the reasons why he's chosen to link up with Gerrard. He's someone that he knows, someone that will probably get the best out of him and get a tune out of him, which is massive. But what I'm looking forward to, Dalton? Having someone that could just shoots. Having someone who get the ball 25, 30 yards out, and he'll have a shot. You might get a goal out of it. I feel like we've not had that for a while. Not that excitement of someone when they get the ball that they're going to pull the trigger from distance and perhaps score for us.
To be fair, I mean, Luiz can do what he wants to.
When was the last time that happened?
But he doesn't do it enough. McGinn's been doing it more often of late.
This is next level of having a shot from outside the box, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is next level. There's a great montage that I think I retweeted. Liverpool posted a few years ago of like 10 or 15 of his best rockets, and I mean the guy's technique is just it's on another level. And our good friend Ty put up again a little montage of his overall play, and I mean I know it was him at his peak, but absolutely incredible, absolutely unbelievable player, unbelievable technician. What it is, as Omar said, it's kind of hard to believe. It's a shame the graphic was so bad from the Villa admin.
Didn't really pay much attention to be honest.
Kind of been a bit of a damper on it, when the image was so dreadful. But no, that's just all joking aside. It's moved so it's moved so quickly as well. And I messaged you on Tuesday saying, wouldn't it make sense if we had a little dabble, and why not? And then all of a sudden, within 48 hours, it was full steam ahead. I know Sky and other outlets were reporting there was 5 or 6 teams involved, but to me, that never sounded like there was anyone else interested, or it didn't sound like he was even interested in going anywhere else apart from Aston Villa.
I think there's interest. There's difference between interest and teams actually manoeuvring and doing something, and that's one thing about Villa. We've seen it in the summer with the players that we brought in as well. We do not mess around.
Yeah,
we do things properly. And other clubs like dealing with Villa because we do things properly and we execute things with precision, and that's what we've done again.
Yeah, and this might not go down well with some fans, but like I mentioned it before, whenever we lost Jack Grealish, we lost an element of like appeal. We lost that element of the poster boy. We lost that element of that he brought, the media and the attention. Then we lost John Terry again, who brought that because of his status. And all of a sudden, within 6 months, we've got Gerrard as manager, one of the greatest footballers to ever play the game, and then Philippe Coutinho coming in, and you just kind of feel like we're back on the map, and it just felt like it felt like we were a little bit, we were a little bit kind of a bit of a wet cabbage there for the first sort of 2 or 3 months of the season, and then all of a sudden Gerrard's come in, Coutinho's going to come in, we mean business, and from a revenue point of view as well. You just think of how many other young kids that might idolize Coutinho, what it can bring to the fan base and the overall appeal of the club. And if you're a player at Aston Villa today and you see Coutinho walking in through the door, it would be mind blowing. I mean, again, no disrespect, but you were being coached by Dean Smith and playing alongside I don't know, whoever it may be, and then fast forward 3 or 4 months later, you got Gerrard as your manager, and you got Coutinho playing alongside you in training. So it's quite the leap, and yeah, I'm just buzzing, absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, I think it is important to temper expectations a little bit, because he hasn't hit the heights that he wanted to at Barcelona. Although Dolan reeled off a load of things at the start of the show, they're impressive things that he's achieved, and he's been a part of that success. It's probably also important to say, Barcelona are a bit of a mess at the moment. So whatever's happened this season, Barcelona isn't the easiest place to play at the moment. There's a lot going on there. They're not the force that they were by a long stretch of the imagination, and he's probably one of the fall guys in it. I know a lot of kids have been playing ahead of him in Barcelona this season, but that's probably just what Xavi wants to implement this season now, because it's not been going great. But we should probably temper expectations a little bit, because as I said at the top end, he wouldn't be coming to Villa if he was firing on all cylinders at the moment. That's not to take away from the absolute excitement of bringing in a Brazilian playmaker.
No, at all not. But you have to be logical about these things, and there's a reason why he's come to Villa at this part of his career, when he's probably at his peak years. It's not gone well for him in Barca. But even him not playing that well, he still, as Dolan said, contributed to the team, contributed to Bayern Munich when he was on loan there. So he's still got that ability. And if you look at the interviews that Xavi's done since he's come in, he said it's more a mental thing for Coutinho, not a talent thing. He sees the talent. So I think the fact that he's coming here, he's willing to come to Villa to prove himself and not go to, he probably could have gone to maybe a more well-known club, potentially abroad, maybe taken a slightly higher. Barca could have taken more of the salary off the table, maybe, I don't know. But I think the fact he's coming here, he's coming with Steven Gerrard here, someone he knows and trusts and has that relationship with, is going to be a good thing for him mentally. So it means that hopefully he can perform on the pitch as well. And even if you look at his last 12 months, I was looking at some of the stats around. It's just his general play, because obviously in terms of goals and assists, everyone's got those stats available to them. But just in terms of his general play, he's already going to be our best player when it comes to things like, amount of touches, retaining possession, passes, passing accuracy, dribbles, carrying the ball, all those types of things. He already is going to be one of our best, if not our best player, in terms of what he's done in the last 12 months, even when he's been performing badly. So the fact he's still doing that, he's still performing well in those aspects, is a good thing for us. And if he's got the players who are willing runners in front of him and not playing for a team that's been in a mess like Barca have done, then he's still going to have that ability to unlock the defenses, pick those passes, shoot from distance, etc. He's still got that ability, no doubt about that. It's just having that confidence, having that love of his teammates and his management team behind him. I think that will bring out the best in him, definitely. I suppose the only concern is probably too strong a word, is in terms of his pressing. He's not well known for his pressing, and he hasn't done in terms of his stats. If you look at his stats over the last 12 months to 24 months, he's nowhere near the top in terms of forward players when it comes to on the pressing side of things, which obviously I know Gerrard loves his number 10s to do. But at the same time, we're not all out press machine when it comes to the way that we play. We press at the right time, so it may not be too much of a critical factor. I guess we'll see. But I wonder, I mean, how do you see him fitting into the team? Do you think we'll see a change of formation, still play with those two sort of inside number 10 or wingers as Gerrard does?
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question, actually, but I'm not criticising who scored, because they're one of my employers, so I don't want to say anything bad about them. But you won't see a 4-2-3-1. It just won't happen. It'll be Gerrard's 4-3-3 with the two narrow 10s, and we'll continue to play that way. I've seen people saying that it's going to affect Buendia. I'm sure that it is. Obviously, it's another bit of competition for him, but at the moment, it'll be Buendia and Coutinho behind Ollie Watkins. Then you got Danny Ings to come in as well. I mean, you think of the squad, the depth that we've got when everyone's fit now to bring in. When you've got Ings and Bailey, who I wouldn't put in our best team at the moment now, to bring on, that's fantastic progress. We can bring anything on last season. Yeah. No disrespect to Keenan Davis, we were bringing Keenan Davis on towards the end of last season, and it felt like that was what we were going to be doing until the end of time. You got Ings and Bailey ready to come off the bench, not in your best team. I think that's a real strong position to be in. You need rotation as well, especially with COVID at the moment and injuries. I think we're in a very good position. And also, It's another bit of experience of winning things, a bit of know-how. There's probably not enough of that in the squad at the moment, bar Ashley Young, I would say, and probably Danny Ings. So just have another bit of experience up there as well. It'll be helpful. Someone that Gerrard will trust, someone that Gerrard will know. He'll know how to get the best out of him. Coutinho will want to play for Gerrard. He's saying about the pressing. If Gerrard asks him to press, he'll do it because he'll be a non-negotiable, I'm sure. But we're not a pressing machine, like you say. But I don't think it affects Wendy massively, because if you're a good player, having another good player alongside you, I think that's a positive thing.
Yeah, it might bring the best out of him, even
exactly.
In terms of, look it up. If you look at the game against Brentford, for example, there are so many instances where you can see the way that we've changed. Under Smith, would be very much get it out wide and try and cross from wide positions, whereas now, Cash and Target probably not the best in terms of crossing creativity wise, in terms of fullbacks out there in the Premier League, but more often than not, when they get it out wide, they'll come back inside, and we'll try and play sort of nice triangles, nice play 1-2s at the edge of the box with the forward. And maybe we're lacking a little bit of creative spark at the moment. Maybe Buendia needs someone else there with him, because I think Troy had the best game. So this is maybe that player who could play alongside Buendia, and maybe whether it's Ings or Watkins, whoever it is, have that sort of link up play and try and make things happen, which we haven't really seen over the last sort of 5 or 6 games.
The way we play at the moment, Toll, is very, very narrow. So if you've got, I actually think Coutinho and Buendia next to each other, that's going to be helpful, because we're playing with players close together, short, sharp, incisive passing, playing the little triangles like Omar says. There's nobody better to come in and do that for us than Philippe Coutinho. Like I say, it's a signing we could have only dreamed of. To have someone of that ability to come in and try and play the style of football we're trying to play, I think it works.
Yeah, I agree. And I think as a set piece team, we're quite effective. You think about the height that we have from the back when Mings and Konza come up, but I think in play, whipping balls into Ollie Watkins all day long isn't probably ideal for the kind of player he is. So I agree, man. I think the way we've tried to play under Gerrard, it's very sort of 1-2 tight spaces, triangles, quick passing, press. Very much in the counter attack, and a lot of through balls. There's nobody better than Coutinho. And again, I think it'll raise the likes of Buendia. I think he'll go up to another level as well, because he is essentially, he is a bit of a B-Tech Coutinho in terms of his height, his strength. He kind of is everything that Coutinho. He has that same build and that same frame, but just hasn't got the quality yet. But to play alongside Coutinho for the next 6 months, and hopefully it's the next couple of years, then it's going to take his game up to another level. And but you speak about players, and I'm not going to compare him to Mo Salah, but Salah wasn't exactly on form when he joined Liverpool. He was a bit of he was kind of becoming.
He'd done well at Roma, but he certainly wasn't the goal scorer that he is today.
Yeah, but he wasn't the player that he was, and I think with Barca, I don't think you can judge any player. I think Barca needed him off the wage bill. I think a lot of the reasons was they bought Ferran Torres. They had to register Torres. I believe they had to get Coutinho off the books. I dread to think what kind of money he was on at Barca. Probably the guts of £350,000 a week, I would guess.
I think so
they're skint.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, they're broke. So big name players leaving Barca isn't necessarily about the quality. It's about the fact that the Barca need these guys off their books, and it was the perfect move, and it's a no risk win-win for me. I've seen some tweets about the financial sort of state of play and wages and all that, but like our owners in Purslow, a deal would not be done if it's not in the best interest of Aston Villa. So whatever deal was done has worked and has benefited us. We get Coutinho. Wages, I'm sure, are going to be, there will be lengthy discussions about his wages, and clearly as well, he's agreed that if we do have the option to buy, there's no doubt that they put his contract on the table and say, well, if you play for us, these are the kind of wages that you're going to be getting.
He'll know wherever he goes. He'll know wherever he goes, he's not getting the Barca money.
Yeah,
wherever he goes, it's just not happening.
Yeah, there's just no risk. There's just no risk involved in this for me. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, and that's it. But for me, I just think it's the perfect marriage, and you know, if anyone knows Coutinho's game, it's Gerrard. I mean, you know, he played the best football of his career at Liverpool, and there's a good point there. You know, you got the likes of El Ghazi, and then you're upgrading him to Coutinho, and I think we'll see the likes of El Ghazi and Trez. I think we'll probably see those players moving on quite soon. And if Coutinho is the sign of the kind of player, the caliber of player that we're bringing in, then just keep it coming.
I can only assume Trezeguet must have heard about Coutinho coming in at that very moment he went down in the game against Brentford. He must have just got told and was like, no, I'm never going to play again, and went down to the
Trezeguet died so Coutinho could join.
Yeah, he just was not happy with that extra competition for places.
But people have also there's been a lot of comparisons with the James Rodriguez to Everton, but I just think, you know, people have sort of used that as a comparison.
There is the comparison, you know, in the sense that he knows the manager. I just think that's you can probably, and they're both number 10s. This is probably where it ends, I would say.
Yeah, but in terms of like, he didn't exactly light up the league, but I don't think
Everton's a hard place to be at the moment.
It's a hard place to go and play, and obviously Rafa just didn't fancy him. So I think there was glimpses of quality and class from James last season.
Well, they won at Anfield with a through ball from James, and they hadn't won at Anfield. You had a
manager. You had a manager in Ancelotti that didn't want to be there, and then you had a player in James or Rodriguez that didn't want to be there, and then you got Rafa that came in who didn't want them. So, in terms of comparisons, I've seen a few things sort of linked between him and Rodriguez, but again, for me, it doesn't come anywhere near it.
I think that does us. Nice little chat. Nice to discuss something positive. Big signing for Aston Villa. If you are interested in hearing more about Philippe Coutinho, then tune into Sky Sports News at 1:00, because I will be on there live talking about it. A little plug for my work there. Thanks to Omar and Dolan for joining me. And before we do go, some sad news. Andy Boucher sadly passed away. I think it was this morning. Massive Villa fan. You'd have seen him on Twitter tweeting about his journey and tweeting about Villa all the time. So the condolences from us go to his friends, his family. Horrible to see. It feels like this kind of thing happens ever so much and more often than it should. So rest in peace, Andy, and all the Villa fans, I'm sure, are with you and love you, and you'll be missed greatly by a lot of people. Yeah, sad way to end the show, but, you know, big signing on that day. Hopefully Andy's looking down and he's really, really happy. Thanks for tuning in. Comment in the comments with what you think about this signing. Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Are you indifferent? Let us know. I only see excitement so far on Twitter, which is really, really positive. We'll be back with a show at some point in the near future, probably after the Manchester United FA Cup game, so watch out for that. Have a great weekend. Take care, and up the Villa.
The Villa.